If you've lived with a dog, you've probably witnessed the phantom dig. They stand on a perfectly clean, soft couch cushion, clutching a high-value treat, and start frantically scraping at the fabric, trying to bury a bone in invisible dirt. When this same behavior hits the backyard lawn or the living room carpet, we tend to view it as a discipline problem. We look at the muddy craters and shredded rugs and assume the dog is acting out or misbehaving on purpose. But yelling at a dog for digging is like yelling at a bird for building a nest. Disciplinary training fails here because the animal isn't misbehaving. They are simply executing a deeply ingrained biological imperative. To stop the destruction, we have to stop looking at the torn carpet as an attack on our home and start reading it as an urgent communication of unmet needs. This visualizes a concept called ethological friction. Ethology is the study of animal behavior, and this friction happens when an animal's ancient hardwiring completely outweighs the modern environmental stimulation they receive. We take highly specialized predators and put them in quiet, climate-controlled living rooms. The ruined flower beds and scratched hardwood floors are the physical byproduct of that massive environmental mismatch. We can break this behavior down into 3 diagnostic tiers. The first tier is purely genetic. Many dogs dig because their specific breed was engineered over centuries to do so. They possess a strong instinct to cache or hide high-value resources to protect them from scavengers. Take the Terrier group, for example. These dogs were bred for ground-level pest eradication. They have acute hearing capable of detecting the high-frequency squeaks of rodents beneath the soil, triggering an immediate drive to dig them out. Conversely, northern breeds like Huskies and malamutes were developed in sub-zero environments. To survive, they learned to excavate shallow pits to reach the cooler, insulated earth below the surface, a practice known as thermoregulation. So when a husky digs a hole in your lawn in the middle of July, it isn't plotting to ruin your landscaping. It is executing its specialized survival software perfectly to find a cool place to rest. The second tier is where that genetic software turns destructive, under-stimulation. This chart shows kinetic energy building up in a working animal over time. Without a dedicated job or daily exercise to burn that energy, the line spikes into the red destructive output zone, forcing the animal into DIY landscaping. The third and most severe trigger is environmental anxiety. When a dog experiences barrier frustration or intense separation anxiety, their distress often manifests physically. They will frantically dig along fence lines or tear at the carpet near the front door, trying to escape or reunite with their owner. The exact same physical action, moving dirt with the paws, shifts from a healthy natural instinct into a severe stress response the moment the animal feels trapped or ignored. To truly understand why caching and digging are so difficult to train out of a dog, we have to look back roughly 130,000 years to the ancestor of all domestic dogs, the gray wolf. Wild canines evolved as pack hunters in a harsh feast-or-famine environment. A successful hunt was never guaranteed, and meals were infrequent. Because they couldn't consume an entire large kill at once, they developed the essential survival practice of caching. Burying the surplus meat in the cold earth hid the scent from scavengers and kept competitors from stealing their vital calories. Even though they live indoors today, modern dogs are still running this ancient survival program. Their brains are completely unaware that their food bowl will automatically be refilled tomorrow morning. Let's look at this spectrum mapping canine behavior, with healthy, instinctual behaviors on the left in green and dangerous pathology on the right in red. We need to know exactly when digging crosses the line. The first red flag is a sudden, uncharacteristic onset of the behavior. If an older dog with no prior history of digging starts tearing up the yard, the data point shifts into the yellow warning zone, indicating a potential medical issue or a spike in stress. The situation pushes deeper into the yellow if the excavation is accompanied by frantic pacing, excessive whining, or obvious distress. This isn't play. It is an attempt to relieve internal pressure. The final red flag is compulsive digging that results in self-injury. If a dog is extreme red zone. Self-injury is the ultimate dividing line. A dog that hurts itself while digging is experiencing a full-blown panic attack, requiring immediate behavioral and often veterinary intervention. If your dog is digging out of boredom or instinct, you have to apply the golden rule of behavioral modification. You cannot erase genetics, but you can redirect them. Physically, give the behavior a dedicated outlet. Build a specific digging zone, like a small sandbox in the corner of the yard. Hide their favorite toys in the sand and actively reward them for digging there instead of the lawn. Cognitively, ditch the standard food bowl. Swap it for puzzle feeders and snuffle mats. Forcing a dog to work and forage for their meals exhausts their mental energy and satisfies that primal drive to hunt. When your dog digs up the yard or buries a treat in the couch cushions, they are speaking a biological language that predates human civilization. To live in harmony with them, we have to stop fighting their ancient programming and start translating it. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe and join us next time as we uncover the neurological truth behind why dogs lick the air.